I make $5,000 to $10,000 a year doing credit card rewards, and this is how I do it. Number one, you have to have a credit card for every different category of your spending, whether that's gas, groceries, restaurants. There's cards out there that gives you 6%, 5%, 4% back on those categories, and you can get a 2% cashback card for all the rest. So you should be earning a minimum of 2 to 4% cash back on everything you spend. Now, there's some things you can't put on there like rent, utilities, some stuff you just have to, pay with a debit card or by a bank transfer. But anything you can put on a credit card, you put on a credit card, you get 2% cash back. Then there's bonuses, which can be huge, thousands of dollars. You open a credit card, you got to spend $5,000, but they'll give you an $800 bonus. Chase is specifically very good for these. The higher bonus cards do typically have an annual fee, but if you're making $1,200 and the annual fee is $600, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? You just make sure you cancel it by the end of that year so you don't get hit with that fee again. And a quick disclaimer before I get to the bonus tip here: if you have credit card debt, don't do this. If you try to put 5 or 10 grand on one of these cards to meet the bonus, and then you start paying a 25 or 30% interest fee, it's gonna wipe out that bonus real quick, and then you're in the negative, right? So only do this if you are in a good place financially, meaning you're making more than you spend and you don't have a ton of credit card debt. But even if you have credit card debt, you can still do bank bonuses, which is you open a bank account, you get a set bonus back. They require you to deposit $2,000 and they'll give you a $300 bonus. I've seen it as high as $750 or $500 for business accounts. Now, where do you find all these deals? My favorite place is Doctor of Credit. I have no affiliate relationship with them. It's just the site I always go to and find the best bank bonuses and credit card bonuses. Now, the bonus is if you run a business. I have an e-commerce manufacturing company where we spend anywhere from $500,000 to $750,000 a year on things like inventory, shipping cost, advertising, and there's cards I can get 4% back on the advertising, 4% back on the shipping. I have this large amount of spends, so I can open a Capital One Spark card that gives you a $2,000 bonus for $50,000 in spend. That 50 grand is a lot, but I just bought $11,000 worth of hockey pucks, $12,000 worth of golf balls. It adds up quick. There's also like niche business offerings, like setting up a payment processing network. If I can open a service with them to process credit cards and I charge $5,000 worth of sales through it, they'll give me a $1,000 bonus. That's like once a year. Those aren't as common, but again, if you have a business, you can really leverage this. And really just the sheer numbers, right? Like I put 150 grand on a general purpose 2% cashback business card. That's $3,000 of cash back, like just straight cash back. And credit card rewards are not taxable. It is a discount off of a purchase. Even when you are doing business spending, you can issue that to yourself personally and not pay taxes on it. There's also travel platforms like Chase that actually offer a pretty good redemption rate for those points, because specifically Chase cards, that point is worth a penny. So you could take all your points, redeem it for straight cash back, or you can go use it in their travel portal and get pretty decent deals off of travel. And if you have like a specific card, I think it's the Chase Sapphire Preferred, you get 1.5x value of those points when you're shopping for travel. And then you can also transfer those points to different partners. Like if you have a lot of points, first class bonus redemptions can be a huge value. So say Air France was doing a deal on first class where it's like 100,000 points. Well, you can transfer those 100,000 points over, get that deal, and you're getting a first class seat, which would cost $5,000 to $7,000 for only $1,000 worth of points. You could really go down a rabbit hole on all this churning stuff. Personally, my wife and I just had a baby. We are not traveling much, so I'm leaning towards going the cashback route. Just to, I'd rather have it in our bank earn an interest than sitting there getting deflated in all these point systems. The one redemption we do make really commonly is the Conrad hotels in New York City, which is a Hilton brand, and you can transfer Amex to Hilton at a 2x rate. It ends up like we're getting a $500 a night hotel room in New York City for effectively $250 worth of points. The Conrad hotel brand is absolutely awesome, by the way. Amex to Hilton is the way to do it, reasonably priced, and it's just kind of all hotels are ruined after going to them. Like if you go to a Hampton Inn or just a regular Hilton, you're like, the Conrad's way nicer. There's even services that you can pay a small monthly fee for, and you get advice on how to spend your points, especially with the first class redemptions, because those sales aren't that common. You can't be signed up to every single airline in the world about how they're going to have some deal that day. But if you tell a consultant, like, I'm trying to take a trip to France this summer, I want to go first class, here's my million Amex points and my 500,000 Chase points, find me the best redemption for my family of 4. The reason it's worth it is they'll find that redemption and you're getting $20,000 worth of value for a trip that is going to cost you $3,000 in points and 100 or 200 bucks for that consultant. So that's why those consultants actually exist. The other option, if you're trying to actually make your business more valuable, is you just take the straight 2% cash back, show more profit on my books. Say I get an average of 3% back on that $500,000 in spend. That's $15,000. So now I'm making 115 grand on $1 million revenue. And if you're thinking about actual valuations, which is like 3x yearly earnings, that business making 115 grand is worth 150 grand times 3. So $345,000 versus if you were to just take all that cash back personally and you're not putting that cash back on your books, you're only making $100,000. So your 3x is 300,000. So by just paying for some of your own trips personally and leaving that cash back in the business, all of a sudden you're making 45 grand when you go to sell it. That's kind of the power of selling a business, is you're getting a multiple on yearly earnings. So if I can spend a couple weeks really winnowing down cost and save 10 grand a year, and I plan on selling in 2 to 3 years, that's really worth 30 grand, not 10 grand, and it's going to compound annually. Kind of got off on a business sidetrack there. I'm just about to do my finances for the year. I should have them done already. It's January 8th, and I do hear that the finance niche is really profitable for YouTube, so I should have some like affiliate links up here to like send people to credit cards and stuff. I probably make some decent money. Maybe if this channel takes a financial bent, then I'll go that route. But anyway, I gotta go to work.